Well, I always like to tell my patients is that your brain cells and your skin cells are related. And they're related because when you were like a little tiny embryo, one cell embryo, the outermost layer of that embryo divided and half of it became your brain cells and the other half became your skin cells. So they arise from the same layer, and they not only arise from the same layer, they're intimately tied with each other because the whatever happens to your skin, it will reflect in your brain. Happy Labor Day. And if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. And that's the basic concept of my life. So, because I love what I do, it's never felt like work. And I can literally do it all the time. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about longevity. Now, what is longevity? Longevity is another name that they gave to anti-aging because they're like, why should we call anything anti-anything? You should not be anti-anything. You should be pro-everything. So pro a longer lifespan, which is also the concept of anti-aging, which means that proactively slow the process of your aging, slow the process of how time attacks your body and its various organs. And that science is now evolving to be called longevity medicine. So medicine that allow you to stay in your body longer. And that is the concept of longevity medicine. So today our concept, our hour of TikTok is going to be directed towards longevity medicine and how I do the things that I do, which is longevity medicine. And what I do is anti-aging. I am a geriatrician by training. I'm board certified in family medicine. And over a decade ago, I started training in the science of longevity medicine, how to proactively train and basically help people live their lives better, and how to help them from losing the different functionalities that their organs have, including the most extensive organ, the largest organ that we possess, which is your skin. And skin is not only the largest organ that you possess, but also it is the most expensive organ that you will ever protect. And your hair is nothing but an extension of your skin. And your hair shows the impact of aging the fastest and the earliest symptoms of aging is hair loss. What was the first machine you ever trained on? It's a long time ago. Well, I've trained on a lot of machines, especially in medical grade, FDA approved lasers and energy devices. They started popping up like almost over 15 years ago. There are a lot of different machines started coming in, and we have had several lasers that also were in the market. But one of my earliest machines was cool sculpting. And I got like the very early on version of cool sculpting, which was not that great. It also used to hurt. And then I upgraded that machine to a newer system. And then I again upgraded all the suction and different, because cool sculpting comes in different sizes and shapes. So I made sure that I had all the bling that is associated with cool sculpting. So one of my earliest machines was cool sculpting, which was by Zeltique, which was a company that was bought by Allergan, and now that company has been sold to AbbVie, which is another company that owns Botox and also owns Humira, and they also now own this non-surgical fat removal machine. And It's a great company. So that was my first ever machine that I trained on. That was my opening machine into the land of aesthetics, and I never regretted it. Anybody who is ever looking into entering aesthetics, I always tell them to start with some of the big, heavy duty machines, which is, and one of these machines is cold sculpting. It's very successful, works beautifully, hardly has any side effects if you do it correctly, and if you train on it, and if you know, it'll teach you, and with experience you'll learn. So that was my first ever machine. But I didn't sit on that machine forever. Like within like once I had trained on it, I went and got another one, and then which was a laser technology, really beautiful machine. Also, it is a BBL by Sciton. Great machine. Did hair removal. Did rosacea treatments. Did acne treatments. It was totally revolutionary and helped so many people. Totally loved that machine. Almost never had any incidents. Long lasting, like a really good workhorse. So those were the two essential machines that I think that every doctor should have. How many machines have you? So now I have a lot. I've trained on a lot of machines because I've been in business for over 12 years with just anti-aging and longevity. So there have been a lot of machines that help different parts of the body, and we do skin and hair and fat reduction and pelvic rejuvenation, angiogenesis, all kinds of energy devices I have. So I have shockwave, cooling, microneedling, radio frequency, CO2 lasers, and plasma laser. I got myself the first plasma laser, which was like amazing. Very little downtime, gives you like a fabulous polish, and people love it. Love the results. 3 sessions of cool sculpting with 50% off GLP-1 agonist. So you're talking about my Labor Day special. So now this is a very important question because this is about weight management. Weight management is an essential part of anti-aging. Your anti-aging is simply not complete if you're not managing your weight throughout the lifespan. So one of the very important treatments that I recommend for people is sugar neutralizing, and that is now being made possible by GLP-1 agonists. GLP-1 agonist is a class of medications that have come into our consciousness over the past couple of years, and they are proving themselves to be so essentially important for health and longevity of your body just by neutralizing all the sugars in your body. And the other thing that GLP-1 agonists are also doing is that they pacify your appetite center, where food is no longer an obstacle in your path at that point. And plus, it neutralizes sugars for you, so your fat cells are not as diseased as they would be. Remember, your fat cells are an organ by itself, and just know that fat cells in your body are sometimes inflamed by a variety of different things, different chemicals that you introduce in your system, and mainly sugars, which you're constantly introducing in your system. So GLP-1 agonists, for the first time in human history, are now, we have like something that not only helps you combat your sugars, but also combat your fat cells and basically reduce the swelling in your fat, so you're not like increasing in size as you are, as you go around feeding yourself. But GLP-1 agonists may shrink the size of your fat cells and help you lose weight. However, they are not going to eliminate your fat cells. And that's the point where some machines, energy devices like cool sculpting come in, where you can slowly but surely also keep taking off the layers of fat that your body develops over the years of your life. So surgical removal of fat cells may be an option for some people, but not for everyone. However, cool sculpting is one such machine that I mean, I'm not saying that it is inexpensive. It is expensive. However, it is way less expensive than liposuction and the associated downtime of it. So, what I like to tell people is that when you combine GLP-1 agonists with cool sculpting treatments, you get not only great results, but your results last you longer. And now you have this option that as you go through life and food and everything else, all the stressors in your life, you also have options where you can reverse some of the damage that you incur upon yourself. Hi, I am 63, no hair loss. Oh, great, Cliff. That's great. Good for you. Listen, your hair is an indication of how your skin is doing. So if your skin is good, you will see that your hair is intact and will remain intact. What inspired you to focus on longevity medicine? So I was a geriatrician and I had seen and I used to take care of patients in the nursing homes and the assisted care facilities. And I had nurses and nurse practitioners and other doctors working with me on my team. And I very quickly realized that it was not possible to help people to a large degree because their chronic diseases never got better. And it was like seeing the dark side of aging, where just aging became a burden, and how you just sit in a limbo where your outing is probably just to the hospital and back, and hospital is referred to hell. So people would say that we're nursing facilities were like a limbo where you were like sent into the depths of hell, and maybe you would be taken by death or you would be sent back in the limbo until your life is over. And I just realized that that was not the right answer. And the right answer was something else. And the right answer was to prevent the chronic diseases of aging. And that's when I actively started learning how to manage the chronic diseases of aging better. And the only way I found that worked the best was to find people who were younger, who had not started disintegrating yet, and to get them to start doing the treatments. And the treatments were there. There were treatments that were there. However, many of the anti-aging treatments are just not covered by your medical insurance because your insurance, your health insurance, acts like your automobile insurance. It only covers diseases and accidents, and even then you have to pay what do you call it, you have to pay like some kind of a they what do they call it, the insurance premium, some kind of a premium. You have to pay the insurance, but you also have like some kind of a premium, some kind of a thing before it covers your medications or everything. How do you see the future of anti-aging machines evolving in the next few years? Oh, it's already here, and there already so many machines are in the market. But in United States, the only machines that we're allowed to use as physicians are machines that are FDA approved, because which I really like, because that's the only way I would like to purchase anything, because it's like buying a car. And you would want to buy a car which has like a good company that is FDA approved, that has gone through the studies and everything. So yeah, I see it like really taking off now. It's not a new concept anymore. It's like a very stable concept. And this concept is not, it's a very well timed concept, because humans are just living much longer. So as humans are living much longer, we also would like to live with agency and with more health and with more energy, because what's the point of life if you just have to become a vegetable in some assisted care facility? How many different anti-aging machines do you use in a week? A lot. It depends. So what I have is like a body shop, and sometimes somebody's coming for hair, somebody may be coming for some skin rejuvenation. However, one of our most popular treatments are the intravenous supplements that we offer for menopause and perimenopause and for andropause. And those supplements are best introduced inside your body via intravenously, and that is the reason that you need to see a doctor. How do you use Sculptra on clients? Sculptra is a medication that is like a crystal. We mix it, we prepare it, and we then place it inside your muscle, inside your layers of fat. And what it does is that those crystals rub against your fat cells and increase the size of your own fat cells. So basically, when we place it in areas where the padding of your skin is like a little off, just with some injectables, it's not like an extra fat cell. Basically your own fat cells grows to, it's like a miracle grow for your own collagen. So that's it. It's like, so when sometimes I hear stars saying that I didn't get like any fat cells placed, Kim Kardashian said that oh, I didn't get like a BBL, but basically she did like a non-surgical one, which is with Sculptra. And Sculptra is not permanent. So Sculptra lasts in your body like maybe 5 or 6 years. It's like cushioning under the body. And listen, you'll lose the cushioning of your skin as you go through time. Just with gravity and time and hormonal changes and your body expansion and contraction as you go through childbirth and whatever else. And that's the reason that, it's good to do Sculptra sometimes. Is mesotherapy similar to Kybella? No. So Kybella is a fat melter. And mesotherapy can also help you in face shaping and fat melting, but it also sometimes promotes some collagen in certain areas. How do you approach mental and emotional aspects of aging? Well, I always like to tell my patients is that your brain cells and your skin cells are related. And they're related because when you were like a little tiny embryo, one cell embryo, the outermost layer of that embryo divided and half of it became your brain cells and the other half became your skin cells. So they arise from the same layer, and they not only arise from the same layer, they're intimately tied with each other because whatever happens to your skin, it will reflect in your brain. So when your skin starts losing its form and its features and your perception of self gets distorted as you're going through time, as you age, it will impact your brain. And that impact is not only for yourself, but also when others view you, they will know what age you're in just by looking at you, because your form and features have been lost. So your brain and your skin cells are related, and your brain can perceive its aging, the aging of your body, by just looking at your face. And as your skin grows and declines and sags, it will impact your psyche, and you will see a downturn in your psyche too. However, when you start becoming depressed about whether it is, it may be subconsciously because of you losing your self, your perception of self, but perception of self issues are usually culturally and socially tied with vanity. And people may tell you that, hey, why are you being vain? However, it's, that's one of my TED Talks, that vanity is not a dirty word because it has an impact on your own self. So there are several aspects of aging that can be improved as we age. Who is your favorite artist, and what anti-aging treatment would you recommend for him or her? I'll have to think about that. Do I have a favorite artist? I like cartoons. I like the Minions. Like plenty of Minions. Minions are perfect. So they don't age, and they can't be killed. Oh my God, Minions are so cool. Yeah, right. And nothing happens to them. You can break them, you can stretch them, and they come back together. So I love, they're eternal. Minions are eternal. I want to be a minion for now. Yes, me too. join the line. We all want to be minions. Do you have top three favorite makeup products? So I love my foundation. It's by NARS. I love it. I've tried so many of them, but I really stuck with NARS. And then I love also NARS blush, which is like really cool. It never fails me. And then I love makeup. I love an eyeliner and the good liquid ones I like to draw. And I love also Huda Katan's eye makeup. And what else? I like mascaras. I don't like to do my eyelashes because I've been there, done that. And eyelashes just get destroyed when you do lashes all the time. So I always tell people, please stop screwing up your eyelashes. And so that's that. So a good mascara, some eyeliner. I love makeup at endlessly, endlessly. Listen, we have filters that we place, and I call makeup war paint for women. And that's it. And we need filters not just placed outside. Makeup is a filter that you place outside on your face. However, there are filters that we place under your skin, and that helps you smooth out your skin, anti-age your skin, and that way all your makeup just appears so much nicer. And those are anti-aging medications that I always recommend to people. And remember, anti-aging medications work. They're beautiful. You just have to make sure that you go to a skin tailor who knows what they're doing. Why is it that after you get a facelift, you still have to use anti-aging medications and machines? Great question. So what you're talking about is L-therapy, and L-therapy is like a non-surgical facelift that we do at Giovanni. Now, how is it a non-surgical facelift? So basically it is a frequency of sound that is a deep sound. It's targeted, and what it does is that it goes to the deepest layer of your skin and tightens it and contracts it. And then as your body heals itself, it tucks up the skin. Hello, Professor. Yes, you can go. I am live on TikTok. Would you like to come and say hi to my people? You can
Hi,
see my
people.
question.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Anyway, so where was I? So let's go back to the questions. Why is non-surgical facelift so important? The reason is that what we're basically doing is that as your skin is aging every year, it builds new layers of skin, and basically your skin grows all your life. But after a certain point in time, I think once you've peaked in life, it is a good idea to halt the growth in certain parts of your visible face. So for most people, it is the jawline, neck, any areas of your face that are becoming saggier. Those are the areas where we prevent the sagginess by proactively doing some of these energy devices. So the energy that we really recommend is the targeted energy of sound, which is a frequency of sound that we place under the skin. Now this frequency holds and binds the skin together and brings your skin back to life for at least 9 months to a year. And that machine at my office is French technology by MERS, and the machine is called L-therapy. Now, sound machines are made by other countries also, and there are different kinds of sound frequencies. There is a sound frequency machine by China. There is now this year they also introduced an American sound machine, which again has a slightly bit different frequencies than the French, but it should work too, because the concept is same. It's the energy of sound that holds and binds the fabric together for you non-surgically, basically helping your skin not disintegrate as you go through time and gravity. Now, I always remind people that skin tightening, even though it is an essential component of your life, you may still need a surgical intervention at some point in your life. However, the non surgical treatments have to be done on a regular basis. This is something that you have to do once and sometimes even twice or thrice in a year, depending on how fast and how accelerated your aging is. And now you may ask that how do you determine if my skin aging is accelerated or not? And that is, you determine that, because remember, you're the one who's living in that skin. So you're the one who's feeding that skin. So you're the one who's sleeping and making sure that you get the regenerative amount of benefits of sleep and exercise and healthy nutrition and everything else. So if you're doing all the right things for yourself, you'll probably experience less aging. Now, at some point, if you say, "Oh my, I did some Botox and I did some fillers. Do I still need skin tightening?" Yes, because your skin is growing and you cannot just keep stuffing your face without tightening the skin, because then at some point you'll start looking like a stuffed potato. And that's not a great look for your beauty. Because remember, beauty is something that we have to introduce into your system and keep replenishing it in microdoses all throughout the year. For most people, it is a seasonal trip to the beauty doctor. However, please just make sure that wherever you go, you're not overstuffing yourself, because part of anti-aging is also skin tightening, which, should definitely be an integral part of your anti-aging. Do you know if HIFU hurts similar to L-therapy? So HIFU is high frequency ultrasound. It is like L-therapy, and L-therapy hurts. The only reason if people are able to tolerate it in my office is because we do some pain management for you. So we give you ibuprofen, we give you some anxiety medications. However, it will hurt while I'm doing the procedure. But usually after the procedure is over, there is no more pain. There is zero downtime. And you don't see the result of the therapy treatment right away, because the results start appearing 3 to 4 months after the treatment. There are always some people who notice results because they look at themselves all the time, but mostly no. You see the results later. And remember, L-therapy is not going to prevent your need for fillers or even the skin smoothing that can be only achieved with something like Botox or like any other neurotoxin that we can insert. What is your best anti-aging secret? All the anti-aging secrets are great, first of all, and they all come together to help every human that is out there. However, one of my favorite anti-aging treatments that I curate for my clients are my supplements that we give for skin and hair. And those supplements are super amazing, but they are also very, very much needed for you to live your life the way we live. It's almost impossible to eat all of these supplements via food, because even if you were to eat all of these supplements, your gut biome will not be able to absorb them, and you'll basically just be pooping them out. So the best way to get these supplements inside to your skin and at a cellular level is to put them in your vein. So that's one of my favorite anti-aging hacks that I give to everyone. These supplements are an essential component of my non-surgical facelift, and I always recommend it to anybody who's perimenopausal or menopausal or postmenopausal. And especially if you're thinking of doing some laser treatments, for instance, I tell people, please, if you're considering doing laser treatment where you're going to be peeling your skin off and doing things to it, it's best to also give your skin a wash through with like the intravenous supplements, and I make that cocktail. How do you determine which treatment is best for a patient? So, all the treatments that we plan for anybody, everybody is very uniquely different. Their requirements are different, things that bother them are different, and their income levels are different. So, even if you need all the things, but if your budget is like 2 cents, it'll be very hard for you to gain access to any of these treatments because unfortunately they're not covered by your insurance, and these are mainly out of pocket expenses. Do laser treatments hurt? Yes, they do. Laser hurts. However, the only time to so after Labor Day we start offering laser treatments because autumn is there, and usually by mid-September or October is a good time to start planning out your lasers. What is a tech neck, and is there a way to prevent it? So, tech neck is a term that we give to your under chin area where you start experiencing a little laxity, and sometimes this happens to very young people, and you wonder why it's happening to a very young person because they're still young and they should not have like a neck that's hanging loose, and it's because they're always on their devices. So it's a device related bending of your neck which creates a sagging and a crease in the under chin area, which sometimes starts appearing like a turkey neck. And the way to prevent it is to tighten the skin around there and to avoid just to have like stands so that you don't have to be staring at your devices like this, but to get like a stand. I mean, I am not saying that please don't use your devices because I'm a device addict myself. However, it's a better way to like have like a stand or something so you can look at the device like this. The other thing is, other than tightening your neck, is like we also ask you to try wearing a chin strap at least 30 minutes in a day. And that's going to help. That's going to help you not develop. Because remember, there's no gym for your face. So this is an area where a lot of your problems hang. And let me tell you a very strange thing that happens. What happens is that when your skin loses its elasticity, your body starts using that lax skin area as a storage area for fat cells. So very soon you will see that wherever there is skin laxity, you will also have like a lump and clumps of fat that start depositing themselves around there because your skin thinks that it's like a bag and that can hold some fat. And that's it. And remember, fat for your body is like plastic. Fat cells are like plastic cells for your body. They shapeshift, they never die. You will die before your fat cells will die. Your brain cells will die before your fat cells will die. Your blood cells, your immune cells, every cell will die before your fat cells will die. And before your fat cells die, they multiply. So the only way to eliminate fat cells is to first shrink them, which you do with some sugar neutralizers now, and hopefully keep doing the sugar neutralizer for the rest of your life, because GLP-1 agonists are like Botox for the fat cell, because they're going to just relax your fat cells and they're not going to hold on to too much fat. But the GLP-1 agonists are not going to eliminate the fat cell. So your fat cell will still be there. So when you go and start eating your pizza next time, it's going to again swell up. So a good way to remove the fat cell and eliminate it permanently is to consider doing non-surgical removal, flushing the fat cells out of your system, and that is with cold sculpting. The only way for removing fat cells is by freezing them, or are there other methods to remove them? So there are other methods. Most of them are surgical. So liposuction, people do it, remove the fat. That's what women do. They remove the fat and they spin it and put it in different parts of their body. But non-surgically, larger areas of fat removal are with cool sculpting. They also have they used to have like another machine where they used radio frequency to shrink the fat cells. However, that machine didn't succeed because the fat cells didn't really die, and they didn't get like as good results as cool sculpting does, because cool sculpting is like constantly, you can use it like literally twice in the same area in the same year, and that will help people remove at least half an inch to an inch of fat. Now, I get it, it's a sculpt, it's not a removal of an entire content of your fat, but listen, slow and steady over the years, as people do it again and again, any problem areas that you have where you don't want to have a pouch of fat hanging, that is now removable. And fat deposit, especially fat in your mid gut area, that fat is so terrible for your body's function, for your gastric function, for your liver. There's so many people I know who have like fatty liver. Meanwhile, they have like this big blobs and layers of fat right over here that's collecting their, basically scrunching all their internal organs, and creating not just high cholesterol, but slowness in their metabolism and pain and gallstones and God knows what. And basically, if they did not have this much fat around them, around their body, choking their internal organs, they would just feel so much better. So mid gut fat should be removed, I think, regularly, and I think people should do it whenever, if you don't have a super active life where you're doing the right things all the time, then definitely this is a machine that helps you catch up with your health and wellness. How did you overcome the fear of what others might think when they found out that you were pursuing anti-aging treatments? I think I would have probably cared what others thought of me when I was in my 20s and 30s. But as I got older, I stopped becoming a people pleaser, and I wanted to be true to myself. And I realized that being true to myself meant that I had to reassess and reevaluate my own life, and I just didn't care. I wanted to just do the right thing for me. And then when you start doing the right thing for yourself, that's when the magic happens. So anti-aging was the right answer for me. I knew the answer. I'd seen the other side of darkness when I worked in the hospital and the nursing homes, and I loved taking care of people, but I just saw the light, and I saw that that the only way to help people is to help them maintain and preserve their connection with their health and their wellness. And there is no other right answer than that. And that's why I started pursuing anti-aging. And anti-aging was very confused with being vain and being superficial. And unfortunately, I disagreed with many of my peers who thought that this is just like superficial bull crap. And now, as the tide has turned, and as it's still turning, and more awareness of how important the skin is in your perception of self is now becoming clearer to all of us. And I'm just very happy that I arrived to all these conclusions and pursued learning this new form of medicine before it was vogue. And I'm very grateful for that. What is your top 3 skincare products for anti-aging? So for anti-aging, if you are new to anti-aging, the first thing that you must consider for yourself is to find the supplements for yourself intravenously. So those are number 1 thing that I would want you to do. The second thing, that if you've never tried skincare, anti-aging skincare treatments, the very easy thing to try is something like Botox. Very easy thing to try is another is something like hyaluronic acid filler. And again, you may not need it at this particular time, but at some point in future, these are treatments that you should definitely start out with. And now when I say supplements, I add to my list of supplements a GLP-1 agonist. Just add it to your list of supplements that you will one day initiate. Are there any side effects for doing cool sculpting, like every month? So no. So when we do cool sculpting treatments for your body, we divide your body or any area that you're going to treat into parts. And for example, your stomach may have 4 or 6 parts depending on how big or small you are. So when let's say your belly area is in 4 parts, those, if I do those 4 areas, I will not redo those areas for at least 6 months in my office. So we basically wait for your skin to clear out all the dead fat cells, because it takes your skin to clear out the dead fat cells that we basically froze off. Like it takes your body at least a month to 2. So usually the company people say that after 3 or 4 months you can treat the same area again. However, in my office, I like to tell people that you don't have to rush. This is something that you should just build into your lifestyle and do exercise and nutrition and do all the right things that you need to do for your body, and then let the results really settle in. And if you need it again that same year, for sure come and do it. Otherwise, if you're trying to get to a different size or something, that is something that you can, like, you can retreat an area. But we don't retreat an area within a month. We retreat the area after 6 to 8 months of other lifestyle changes too. Why is there still so much taboo surrounding anti-aging machines and treatments? Just like anything else, whenever humans find anything new, they have people are upset. They're a little suspicious of it, and they're afraid of it. When the first time when cars came into the world, and people started using cars, a lot of people swore that they will never get on something like that. When the first time electricity was introduced, I was reading the other day that people used to think that, oh my God, what is this thing that's coming, and is it something evil? Is it something bad? Is it something harmful? Is it going to cause us to die or something? And now everybody uses electricity. So similarly, anti-aging is also going to be, these are basically a series of medications and machines that are going to help people live more healthier and longer lifespans. And I think that as people start getting used to doing some of these treatments, they will realize how important these are. So yeah, I mean, it takes time, it takes awareness. And then the other thing is that I think they were taboo a few years ago, maybe like 7 to 10 years ago, but now they're no longer taboo, because now a lot of people know that these things, if somebody is not doing it, it's because either they don't have access, or they don't have awareness, or they don't have money, and or a combination of these three things. Because if somebody is aware of what these can do for you, or if you're in the presence of somebody who can actually do these treatments well, and you have the resources to get this done, I don't see, I mean, as far as I know, all the people who are aware and have the means are doing it. So if you are not, then one of these things is missing, maybe. Because I don't see this as being taboo amongst people who are educated and aware, and they're up to date with the advancements in science and technology. So these are like very new age, high tech things. Each and every single one of these machines, like even for doctors to obtain these machines, it costs like, when I got them, they were like a little bit cheaper. But now, I mean, it's like every machine is like getting a Bentley or even more, getting a yacht. You can do cool sculpting in different areas at the same time. So there are some models of cool sculpting where you can do two areas at the same time. However, my personal desire for a human body is to do small areas at a time, because you don't want to overwhelm your body with too many areas being frozen at the same time, because you don't want to decrease your, you don't want to cause an inflammatory response. So I don't like to do too many areas at the same time. However, there are places where they have like two machines and they would do several areas at the same time. I don't like to do that. I think that the reason we are doing these treatments is to bring wellness to your body, and wellness cannot be rushed. Beauty cannot be rushed. These are small areas. It's for those people who are 100% committed to themselves. Given your holistic approach to anti-aging, how does pelvic health play a role in overall anti-aging and longevity beyond skincare? So one of the things that I also like to stress upon is the fact that your body is connected. All its functionalities are connected. So you cannot stop anti-aging at the where your face ends, because your whole body is interconnected. And what I also like to say is that your body has two faces. One is your public facing face, but there is another face of your body, which is your pelvic area. And the public face is for everybody to recognize you and see you. However, so the pelvic face also needs to be, it is like also, so both your faces fall as you go through time, and they both need a lift after you start experiencing your pauses in life. Now, the pause can happen after you hit 40, and the pause happens in small fits throughout your 40s. We call that time period perimenopause, where your body pauses, experiences a tiny pause, but then you start going in the flow. However, the after menopause sets in, which is that when your period stops completely for a whole year, at that point the pause can create an acceleration in your body's aging, not just this phase but also your pelvic phase. And women start experiencing in your pelvic area, you'll see not only the periods will stop, but because of hormonal shortage, you will see you will notice constipation, insomnia, dry skin. You will also experience hair loss, weight gain. And those periods, these pauses will lead you to lose connection with your vitality and with your well-being. Women, menopause, I sometimes jokingly say to my clients that menopause is a time when you stop, you pause liking men. But the reason is that your hormones have like just tanked. And that's what used to happen to all our ancestors, because this is the time when women just stop and they just grow into a halt. So as an anti-aging measure, we are also basically now realizing that a way to keep your pelvic areas running and keep your system running well, not just your brain fog, but also, all the areas in flow, is to make sure that your pelvic area is completely resuscitated and rejuvenated. Just like you rejuvenate your face, your pelvic area should also be rejuvenated. So we do offer a bunch of treatments for that. We do have one of the United States' first machines that was approved for pelvic rejuvenation, which is a shockwave energy treatment for women. And it's a great treatment, and it's a very popular treatment for ladies who are in their 60s and 70s, mostly postmenopausal. However, a lot of my clients also use it for just enhancement of their experience. You've mentioned if you can't exercise, at least sexercise. How does this concept fit into your approach to health and wellness? Sex is a very important part of your being. And I tell women to keep it running. It is a very important part of your being. And sexercise is important for both men and women. I tell even men that, you may have a lot of muscles, but if your tool is not working, is your exercise working? And a lot of this happens not just because of hormones, but also blood flow. So aging is a flow and supply and demand issue. So if the blood flow is going to stop to some of your vital organs, those organs will fail and wither away, and that's what happens. So some of these energy devices basically provide blood flow back to your organs by creating new blood vessels. So that's one of a very, very important pathway to creating organs that work. Or if your organs already work and you want to keep it that way, because remember, if you're not going to use it, you may lose it. Do you think that the perfect look of celebrities is because they use anti-aging treatments? Yes. They use all kinds of filters. So they use not only filters outside, but they also use filters inside, under their skin. And they have the advantage of having access. But my beef with many of the celebrities is that when they use many of these anti-aging treatments and they don't give credit and they don't disclose to their fans what they're doing, and just to promote this or that, for example, when I'm sure everybody knows about the joke that we make for Kylie Jenner, where she's done her lips so many times, and the only thing that she says is that, oh, here's this lip plumper that I use. And no, that's not right. You've done medications, and you should disclose to your fans. Or when J-Lo says that I'm completely natural and here's my olive oil cream, I get super annoyed with that, because that's like misleading your fans and not being authentic. Because if you're doing these treatments, then you should tell people, like I do. Well, but it's my job, so I guess I don't mind. But I feel that now that thing is also changing. The newer generation, they're like, yes, we're doing it. The younger people, they're like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And they don't find it anything to be embarrassed about. Taking care of yourself. Why would you be embarrassed about taking care of yourself? You shouldn't just go to a doctor when you're sick. You should go to a doctor when you're well. Despite the long history of anti-aging practices, why is it still taboo today, and why do celebrities often deny receiving anti-aging treatments? Yeah, exactly. That's my question. Why? Why are you embarrassed to tell people that you have the resources and you have the means to perpetuate your beauty? Because remember, one thing that I also want to clarify is that you will not become beautiful by using Botox and fillers and stuff and lasers. Beauty is something that you're born with. What these medications are not going to make you beautiful. What they do is that they solidify your connection with your beauty. And once you've achieved your peaks in life, what these do is that they help you stay there for much longer. And they help you reestablish that connection should you lose it because of illness or stress or whatever else, or childbirth or weight gain or whatever. You can literally go back and form that connection again with your self. And I hope that everybody thinks that they're beautiful, because that's what I feel, that, if you're born and if you're alive and if you have a functioning body, then you better find life beautiful. And if you are beautiful, then these medications will help you stay connected with that perception of self for much longer. And that's that. The symptoms of menopause are the same in every woman, or it varies? It varies. For some women, when menopause may be gentler, but for most women, it's accompanied with brain fog, constipation, insomnia, lackluster, low libido, hair loss, you name it. Mood swings, you have like a perpetual premenstrual syndrome kind of a thing. You're irritable, your mood is shot. Many times women are super depressed because they're not sleeping that well. At that point, when they go to a doctor's office, the doctor has literally nothing to offer them, because we have been so super scared away from HRT, and we have like literally no other means to regain that connection with our femininity again, because we're losing the hormones that made us women. And that's the reason that, because it's like such a different kind of it's like a spectrum of symptoms that we all face. So I get the worst thing is that when you go to a doctor, they may end up giving you antidepressants and sleeping and anxiety medications, which is such a shame and embarrassment, because that's not the problem. It doesn't even tackle the problem, and the next thing you know is that you're now also zombified, because you're just losing a connection with yourself, with your skin, with your beauty, with your hair, and with all your functionality. And you don't have adequate help. So one of the ways to stop that is to use these anti-aging products, and using them early on. So not just to reverse the signs, but to just proactively prevent it. One of the things I tell people is that you will have to spend money either on your diseases or proactively on your health and wellness. And I hope that everybody decides to spend money proactively on their health and wellness and just prevent the diseases altogether. The symptoms of andropause are similar to the symptoms of menopause, or is it different? So andropause is the same thing as menopause, except that's in men. So just like human body goes through a pause for a woman, the human body also goes through a pause after a certain point for men. Now, men's pause occur after a little while than women. So women usually experience the pause in their from between mid 40s to mid 50s. However, men start experiencing the pause around 60. And that's when they feel less energetic. Remember, you are experiencing andropause whenever you go. If you're a guy and you feel like your doctor should prescribe to you a Viagra or a Cialis because you don't feel that energetic and that vibrancy anymore, that means that you are entering the pause of your life. And it is also accompanied with weight gain, metabolic slowness. That's when many people start experiencing different aches, pains, body aches, headaches, a lot back aches, and a lot of men start falling apart during their andropausal years. They develop high cholesterol, and definitely they start losing their hair. So a good way for them also, I recommend all the treatments, all the anti-aging treatments that I recommend for women. What's your perspective on celebrities often using their wealth to make extreme modification to their body? So that's wrong. So mommy makeovers and daddy makeovers, I don't like surgical resection of your body, because remember, you may be able to chuck away. When you like, if you've let yourself go for a very long time and you want to reconnect with your old versions of self, you may need to go to a surgeon, and who is gonna you know turn cut away the excess skin and the failed skin and sew you back again. But remember, your skin cells are also represented in your brain, and your brain, it's very hard to fool your brain. And you may fool everybody else around you, but you may not be able to fool yourself. So that's why I feel that extreme modifications are not good for your body. Getting cut again and again is like maybe a form of dysmorphia, which they know. Most surgeons know that these women or these men will never feel better about themselves, because the problem is something deeper and internal. However, you know it's also a big business. Okay, I love you guys. Mwah. Bye. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy Labor Day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. Bye.